Promoting Ethical and Professional Behavior Among Faculty and Staff by Whitney Davis, Instructional Leadership 695. Professional Ethics Within the Workplace. Professional ethics in the workplace within a school first begins at the college level. College and universities must ensure that undergraduate students are being exposed to proper classes that teach them the importance of ethics within the classroom. Ethic laws within universities. Most universities have ethic laws in place on campus. For example, at Texas Tech, an ethics policy that is required by state law defines ethical behavior essentially as compliance with laws and regulations. It reinforces state and federal mandates and other institutional policies that either require or prohibit certain activities such as affirmative action, nepotism, sexual harassment, and use of institutional funds for political purposes. Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have the right to do and what is the right thing to do. Now we're going to look into the Alabama Code of Ethics. There are 9 standards, so we're going to go in depth into each standard and look at examples of ethical examples and unethical examples. Standard 1, professional conduct. An educator should demonstrate conduct that follows recognized professional standards. Examples of this include encourage and support colleagues, being respectful and supportive within a teaching environment, engaging in collaborative learning experiences together. A great way to do this would be to sign up for team professional development that will make your grade level better as a whole and continue working together throughout the year to help support each other. Instead of you being the only teacher within your grade level, to sign up for AMSI training, for example, encourage your whole grade level team to do it. So that way you can build each other up, work together, and be better as one. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 2. Standard 2, trustworthiness. An educator should exemplify honesty and integrity in the course of the professional practice. Ethical conduct may include advocating for fair and equal opportunities for all students, instilling in students the importance of honesty and fairness. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 3. Standard 3 is unlawful acts. An educator should abide by federal, state, and local laws and statutes. Unlawful acts include conviction of a felony. This can range from drug paraphernalia or any acts such as murder, theft, fraud, blackmail, etc. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 4. Standard 4, teacher-student relationship. An educator should abide by federal, state, and local laws and statutes. Examples of ethical conduct include, but are not limited to, fulfilling the role as a coach or mentor, nurturing the physical, intellectual, social, or emotional needs of a student, providing an environment that does not purposely expose embarrassment or derogatory feelings to the student, creating and supporting a positive learning environment. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 4 continued. Unethical conduct includes, but is not limited to, committing an act of child abuse or child endangerment, committing or soliciting any unlawful sexual act, engaging in harassment, behavior based off of gender, race, religion, or disability, encouraging or soliciting inappropriate written verbal or physical behavior, or relation with the student. Providing or allowing a student to consume unauthorized drugs or alcohol. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 5. Standard 5 is alcohol, drug, and tobacco use or possession. An educator should refrain from the use of alcohol and or tobacco during the course of professional practice and should never use illegal or unauthorized drugs. Ethical conduct includes, but does not limit, providing the dangers of illegal drug use and alcohol to students during a provided professional course. Unethical conduct would include, but does not limit, being under the influence of drugs or alcohol on school premises. This includes any school activities and school functions. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 6. Standard 6 is public funds and property. An educator entrusted with public funds and property should honor that trust with a high level of honesty, accuracy, and responsibility. Ethical conduct of public funds and property would include using the funds in a positive way that would support the students and faculty as well as the school. An example of an unethical use of funds would include, but are not limited to, failure to account for specific use of funds or misusing school-related funds with personal funds. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 7. Standard 7 is remunerative conduct. An educator should maintain integrity with students, colleagues, parents, patrons, or businesses when accepting gifts, gratitudes, favors, and additional compensation. Ethical conduct is included but is not limited to ensuring that school policies are not impacted by gifts or gratitude from any person or organization. Examples of unethical conduct would include, but is not limited to, soliciting parents or students to purchase or participate in any activities that would benefit the teacher in a personal way, such as a personal gain. Accepting gifts from vendors for personal gain when there is a conflict of interest. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 8. Standard 8 focuses on maintenance of confidentiality. An educator should comply with state and federal laws and local school board policies relating to confidentiality of student and personal records, standardized test material, and other information covered by confidentiality agreements. Ethical conduct would include keeping information confidential about students that does not directly pertain to that person. On this, whenever I was reading about confidentiality and the Code of Ethics, immediately this quote came to mind by my principal. He says it in every single faculty meeting we have. Silence is never misquoted or misunderstood. Gary Horton. Alabama Code of Ethics Standard 9. Standard 9 is abandonment of contract. An educator should fulfill all of the terms and obligations detailed in the contract with the local Board of Education or educational agency for the duration of the contract. Unethical conduct of this would include, but is not limited to, refusing to perform services under the particular contract or abandoning job without prior notice. Plan of action. After looking specifically into the Alabama Code of Ethics and what all it entails, a plan of action must be set in place for school faculty and staff. I believe it all starts within your classroom. Providing for a positive environment that helps students set goals and achieve them with confidence. Use moral and ethical language when talking with your students and coworkers. showing respect to students and being an example to them of how to respect authority and each other. Being accepting of students. This is another picture, and it just says core values. So on this, I just wanted to include promoting ethical and professional behavior among faculty and staff begins at the core. This means to instill in these core values within your school to help promote a positive environment for everyone.